Hey guys, this is Pikmin Master, and time to announce a brand new counter. So, I guess, to get this really short, the character for this counter will be...
PK Fire!
Yes, Lucas will come back as a new counter. Yeah, I did get rid of Lucas, because, like, since Bro doesn't really show up in videos anymore, and at this point, it's kind of not worth keeping the Bro appearance counter. But I'm now going to bring him back as a counter. Yeah, it's so not too long since he actually left that he comes back. Now, what is the counter that Lucas will be part of? This counter will be known as the DLC counter. Due to like the push almost every like online series has DLC to some extent, it might as well be worth exploiting that. So from September on, the DLC counter will be in effect. Now, why September? Well, because the rest of August will feature the rest of Splatoon matches up to number 6 and Smash up to 23. So in that instance, I've already uploaded those. The next video of online will be on September. So, however, to be specific, Splatoon and Marco will come out about immediately. No, not immediately. Splatoon will be out immediately. So, any new Splatoon matches, that counter will be implemented. For Mario Kart, once I finally finished video the Mario Kart Online was number 210. Number 211 on will feature this counter. Next, Smash will be featured from number 26 on. So, like I said, Splatoon immediately. Now, what will be the what are the conditions for this counter? Now, I'm gonna start with Splatoon because it's actually a really big thing. Because like recently, Splatoon got its 2.0.0 update. So, and that actually introduced like the big stuff. Like, there's lots of really big stuff that goes on. Okay, now I'll tell you right now, I will not include new modes for this. Well, I guess mostly due to, well, the DLC count is gonna count for a lot of other things. So I don't think it's really fair to bring any new modes introduced to Splatoon to this update. So I'm not doing that. Now, first for weapons. Here's how it all works. If I use a weapon, that will count for this counter, or if someone else wins with one. Now, what weapons will be involved? I will only include weapons from the Slosher and Splatling weapon types, because a lot of DLC weapons have similar appearances to other weapons. It's gonna be really hard for me to tell like which is which. So I'm not going, and since I'm only going to count from the 2.0.0 update onwards, any weapons before then will not be counted on DLC counter, even though they technically are. Now the problem is that Splatoon is very DLC heavy, so, and a lot of weapons do count if I use every single DLC. If I use every single DLC, like I'll probably put the DLC count almost every single time, without even knowing as well, because like I said, some weapons look like other weapons, just with with tiny differences that's really hard to see right away. So, any Sloshers, Splatlings, and if a new weapon type gets introduced to Splatoon like down the road, they will be counted too. So if I use a Slosher, Splatling, or if someone else wins with one, which will be similar to the Uber counter in this case, in which if an opponent wins with the Airspray RG, then it counts for the Uber counter. So the same thing will apply here. Stages. Now, currently, no stages will be included for the DLC counter. Why? Because every single stage so far has been released before the 2.0.0 update. So, if there's any stage at all, that will be added after this update, then it will count for the DLC counter. Otherwise, like the rest will not be counted. So that's project. So, and like with the first counter, I'll only count it once per rotation, meaning that since I usually have a recording session, like maybe like usually 3 episodes per session. If all 3 like feature the same rotation, I will not count the DLC counter all those times. So if I get a new stage rotation, yes, I will count. Or if between in the session the stage rotates during the session, then yes, I will count that as well. So that's it for Splatoon. For Smash, well, I think it's kind of obvious, right? If any player uses the DLC characters, which as of now is Mewtwo, Roy, Lucas, and Ryu, and of course, if there's any new characters that will be from Smash, they'll be counted as well. Duh. Same thing with stages. If Dreamland 64, Suzaku, Peach's Castle, and Hyrule Castle. Wait a second. There are like 3 castles now for DLC. Coincidence? I think not. So if I think, and I don't know if I should count the Miiverse stage. I'm not sure if I'm going to count the Miiverse stage, but however, since I don't think that goes online at all. So just those 4. Just those 4, and if there's any, of course, any new stages that will be included within Smash down the line, then yes, they will be counted as well. That's pretty much it. Next, for Mario Kart. Now, there's much else but Mario Kart, but I'm going to say why later. Okay, that's definitely obvious. If a DLC course between DLC packs 1 and 2, if one of those courses is chosen, duh. However, I will not count the same stage more than once. So I mean, like, if let's say, I don't know, if Red Ribbon Row is chosen like twice in a row, or if chosen the first and the third one, whatever, I will not count them twice. So if I'm gonna play, if like 3 different DLC courses show up, then I'll count them 3 times. If it's just this one course 3 times, which is very, very unlikely, then I'm only counting once. Same thing with characters. If I use a DLC character between DLC packs 1 and 2, and like with Splatoon, if someone wins with one, let's say like if I didn't win, right, and the person who actually won the race is Villager, I will count that, since you could actually see who the character the winner every character uses. So I could see, oh hey, Villager won, so I'm gonna count it as DLC counter because that person won. However, for vehicles, because the result screen does not show vehicles, I will not count the vehicles at all in the DLC counter, even though they should, by all accounts, should count. However, this is the kind of reason why I got rid of what was it, the Uber counter for I got rid of the Uber counter for, when it comes to Mario Kart, because I'm not going to go like look at every single person and see what kind of vehicle they're choosing. That's kind of very difficult to do. That's why I got rid of the Uber counter for Mario Kart, because well, for like, Mario Kart Wii, like, it kind of makes sense. All you can do is find Funky and see if you could see if he was winning that same bike, or if hey, there's Mellow Mario. But again, even then, Mellow Mario, like, to be Uber, you gotta be like a very specific card combination, which I'm not gonna check. So I'm not counting the DLC vehicles in DLC counter because it's really hard to check. For Chaotic Surprising, none, because that game does not have DLC at all. For Pokemon, same thing. Now here's a weird thing. But when I was originally thinking of the counter, I was thinking, hey, maybe I should put Diancie, Hoopa, and Volcanion as the DLC counter. However, the reason why I'm not is because they, by all accounts, are not considered DLC, because they are on the cartridge. Like, everything about the Pokemon games, be it well, any game, even up to like freaking Gen 3, where there's some Pokemon that aren't even available in Gen 3 until much later, like Deoxys with some sort of event, and Jirachi with the Pokemon Coliseum discs. And then there's Gen 4 with, again, I think Jirachi, same thing with the Heart Gold Silver thing. Just because a certain Pokemon is not available aside from an event doesn't make it DLC. Because, like, I'll only count Pokemon for DLC if there is actual DLC in there. If there is something outside of the game that's got introduced into the game that's something new. Unless it's an item, then I mean then there's no, then I don't know, depends on the item. But if something that's not in the original game's code gets introduced, then I'll count it as DLC if it's viable for it. So that is all for the DLC counter. Now, of course, this is still early August, but we have quite a good while to go before the DLC counter gets implemented in something. But that will be the ideas for the DLC counter for Lucas. So anyway, see you guys later for something else.